title, Lost Highway: A Night Drive to Nowhere. The road seemed to stretch endlessly before me, an interminable ribbon of asphalt that cut through the desolation of the night. The clock on my dashboard ticked past 1 a.m., its digits mocking me with the passage of time in this timeless void. The silence inside the car was palpable, suffocating, broken only by the dull hum of the engine and the occasional crackle of static from the radio. My phone, once a lifeline to the world beyond, now lay dormant, devoid of signal, rendering the GPS useless in this vast expanse of darkness. Hours had slipped away unnoticed as I drove, each passing mile blurring into the next in a monotonous rhythm. Amidst this bleak tableau, a figure emerged from the shadows at the roadside, a solitary silhouette cloaked in tattered garments, their face obscured beneath the brim of a wide hat. A chill ran down my spine as I passed, the darkness swallowing them once more, their presence lingering in the recesses of my mind. I couldn't shake the feeling of unease that gnawed at me, the sense that I was not alone in this desolate landscape. As the miles rolled on, the road seemed to fold in on itself, twisting and turning in a disorienting labyrinth. Each bend brought with it a sense of déjà vu, as if I were retracing my steps through some endless loop. I fought to push aside the creeping tendrils of paranoia, chalking it up to fatigue and the isolating embrace of the night. But then he appeared again, the mysterious figure from the roadside, standing sentinel at the edge of my headlight's reach. My pulse quickened as I passed, the image burned into my retinas like a haunting specter. How could he be here again, miles from where I first saw him? Was it a trick of the mind, a hallucination born of exhaustion and solitude? With a trembling hand, I reached for the radio, desperate for some semblance of connection to the outside world. But all that greeted me was the relentless buzz of static, a mocking reminder of my isolation. I glanced at my phone, its screen blank and unresponsive, a silent witness to my growing sense of unease. I knew then that I had to escape this endless cycle, to break free from the grip of the night that held me captive. With a surge of adrenaline, I veered off the highway, my tires kicking up gravel as I fled into the darkness. The road narrowed, winding its way through dense woods that seemed to close in around me, their gnarled branches reaching out like grasping fingers. In the distance, a flickering light beckoned a dilapidated gas station, its neon sign a beacon of hope in the oppressive darkness. I pulled in, relief flooding through me at the prospect of human contact. But as I approached, my hopes were dashed. The station lay abandoned, its windows boarded up and its pumps long dry. A sense of dread settled over me as I realized the extent of my isolation. I turned to leave, but a movement at the edge of the parking lot caught my eye, a figure, barely visible in the dim light, standing watch like a silent sentinel. It was him, the man from the roadside, his presence a tangible manifestation of my growing paranoia. With a surge of terror, I sprinted back to my car, the sound of my footsteps echoing in the empty silence. I fumbled for my keys, my heart racing as I fumbled to unlock the door. With a screech of tires, I peeled out of the parking lot, leaving the gas station and its silent guardian behind me. But my relief was short-lived. As I drove deeper into the night, a sinking feeling settled in the pit of my stomach. The road seemed to stretch on endlessly, leading me further and further from civilization into the heart of darkness. And with each passing mile, the sense of unease grew until it consumed me entirely, leaving me adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Hours passed in a blur as I drove, the monotony broken only by the occasional flicker of my headlights on the desolate landscape. But no matter how far I drove, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that the darkness itself was alive with malevolent intent. And then, just as I thought I couldn't bear it any longer, I saw the faint glimmer of light on the horizon, a sign of life amidst the desolation. With renewed hope, I pressed on, my foot heavy on the accelerator as I raced towards the promise of salvation. As I drew closer, I saw that it was a house, a small, dilapidated structure nestled amidst the trees, its windows dark and foreboding. But to me, it was a beacon of hope, a refuge from the encroaching darkness that threatened to consume me. I pulled up outside, my heart pounding in my chest as I stepped out into the cool night air. The house loomed before me, its silent facade a testament to the emptiness within. But I couldn't turn back now. I had come too far, endured too much to let fear hold me back. With a trembling hand, I reached for the doorknob, my breath catching in my throat as I pushed the door open. The darkness inside was suffocating, pressing in on me from all sides as I stepped over the threshold into the unknown. But no sooner had I entered than I heard it, the sound of footsteps, slow and deliberate, echoing through the empty halls. With a sense of mounting dread, I followed the sound.